You're about to be distracted. Distractions. Distractories. Distractolozo. Dis on a distracted side of the game. Distract upon. Super distraction. Grand distraction. The ultimate distraction.
Blessed risings. Good afternoon or good evening, depending on where in the world you are tapping in from. You got to keep in mind that Keep It P podcast is a global show. And today, on this episode of B1 Distractions, we will be discussing the Baltimore Bridge crash investigators to examine whether dirty fuel played role in accident. If you didn't know, a tanker supposedly lost power. There was reports of they really don't know what happened, and maybe neither do you because you were too worried about what Diddy was doing or what didn't he do or did he do it or didn't he do it, and all the memes and 50 Cent and da 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 and Diddy just landed in Milwaukee and he's over in Barbados and he just landed in the Caribbean. Did he do it? See, distracted so they could pull a whopper like this off in a black area. They've been trying to rid DC and be more of their black problem. And if maybe you knock out a bridge, maybe, and people can't get to work, maybe, make things, difficult perhaps. But that's just me being me. Let's go ahead and see what they have to say.
All happened overnight when a huge cargo ship, the Dolly, rammed into a pylon holding up the bridge. We have footage of the moment that this happened. I can show it here on the wall for you right here. There was the ship as it approached the pylon there. It struck the pylon. The bridge collapsed into the water. It is not clear why or how this vessel ran into that pylon, but officials tell us this morning there is absolutely no tie, no reason to expect any tie to terrorism. That bridge that you're looking at falling into the Patapsco River normally carries 31,000 vehicles a day. This was the 911 dispatch the moment it happened.
Be advised the entire bridge, the entire key bridge is in the harbor. I advise again, the entire key bridge has fallen into the harbor.
So that's what they
This case
got for you.
brought by a group of anti-abortion doctors.
That's what they got for you. So far, that's what they got. A nothing burger with nothing cheese, with nothing low-fat mayonnaise. Baltimore Bridge crash investigators to examine whether dirty fuel played role in accident. Probe is just starting, but contaminated fuel can create problem with a ship's main power generators. We're already piecing together the narrative. Meanwhile, did he do it? Pay attention here. So I'm showing you how these distractions work. A safety probe into a Baltimore bridge collapse will include whether contaminated fuel played a role in a giant cargo ship losing power and crashing into the span, according to people familiar with the investigation. Safety investigators hadn't boarded the ship, called the Dolly, late Tuesday afternoon while it remains stuck at a pillar of the collapsed Francis Scott Key Bridge. The vessel could remain in that location for weeks. What'd I tell you? maybe disrupt all the shaking and wiggling, the commerce, the economy, adversely affecting the community that's most directly linked. Baltimore, Black, Maryland, DC area, over 31,000 cars a day. It could be there for weeks. What happened last time when there was a ship stuck in Timbuktu over around somewhere in the world? And then all of a sudden, toilet paper, not the UVID. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the supply lines. The ship is messing up all the supply lines. You can't get nothing from A to B to Z. You can't do nothing. They got the ship. The ship stuck. Everything come that way. You got to come that way. Every day. Nothing. That's the only way to go. Right. So what do you think this might do for that particular area if all of a sudden everything got to go that way? You can't get their stuff now because everything had to come through there. So all the groceries, they come through there now. You got a flat tire. You can't get no tire supply. The tire supply is low now. Now watch. The fuel. It was the fuel. It was using contaminated fuels now. Now you can only use a certain fuel or the fuel for the fuel. That only benefit some 1% now. That definitely ain't black people now. You know that ain't gonna do no benefit for the black people now. We want some of your skin and your blood and your sweat off your back now. We always want that, and we gonna benefit. And because that's what we do now. It continues. The lights on the dolly begin to flicker about an hour after the ship began its voyage early Tuesday. That wasn't the sign? No, that one time our lights is flickering, or do your lights flicker all the time? Is light flickering just a regular occurrence? Just lights flicker all the time, especially when we about to go through this bridge area. And we know we going that way. We know we going that way because we go all the time. We've been this way before. So this isn't a new route, right? So you're flickering and tickering, and now we don't know what that means. We don't know what the symptoms or the indicators are of flickering lights on the vessel, or that's not a red light of any sort. It's not a red flag because it's a regular occurrence. Our ship always flickers, or ships always flicker, a flicker of the lights just out of nowhere. It's regular, it's normal. And why it take an hour for them to start flickering if that's just regular? It has to warm up first, and then when the lights warm up, then every hour they start flickering. A harbor pilot and assistant reported power issues and a loss of position before the crash, according to Coast Guard briefing report viewed by the Wall Street Journal. Once again, seeming like everybody's in the know that this ship doesn't have power, yet we can't figure out how to navigate it away from the bridge pillar. We couldn't figure that out. Everybody knows that we're losing power. All right, the vessel went dead. No steering power and no electronics. Yes, we knew that was flickering. An hour into the voyage, we knew there was flickeration in the nation. But y'all let it still do what it do for the hateration because you knew. It was already preordained. It was already pre-planned. It was already premeditated. It continues. It continues that after it went dead, one of the engines coughed and then stopped. The smell of burned fuel was everywhere in the engine room, and it was pitch black. The ship didn't have time to drop anchors to stop drifting. How you didn't have time to drop an anchor? What you need, like 20 ship members? You need like 20 man powers? I mean, what do you... if you don't have 20 members, you ain't going to be able to drop the anchor. Y'all already knew that you was having problems. Why you didn't just drop the anchor when it was safe? When you knew an hour out that y'all was flickering and bickering. You knew that. An hour into the journey, you knew you was flickering and bickering. You knew that. And now it's dirty fuel, right? Blackouts at sea aren't common, but they do happen and have long been considered a major accident risk for ships. So y'all just, what'd I say? What'd I say? I said the flickering and bickering must be a regular occurrence. It must be regular to flicker and bicker. One cause is contaminated fuel that can create problems with the ship's main power generators. A complete blackout could result in the ship losing proposition. Smaller generators can kick in, but they can't carry all the functions of the main ones and take time to fire up. Didn't I say something about the lights having to warm up? Didn't I say something about the lights having to warm up? See, I see where they be going before they be going with it, because none of this is making sense unless A has to be B. 2 + 2 always has to equal 4. You don't have to be no genius or rocket scientist to figure out all of this garbage they be spewing to you. Hello, McFlizzle. Not trying to tell you what to think, trying to show you how to think. Shout out Jay Lava. So it continues with some more. The investigation will include reviews of the vessel's operations and safety record, as well as those of its owner and operator. You don't know who that is, huh? You don't have a clue who that is. We don't know what you're talking about. We just know they was going to Sri Lanka. That's what they did know. You was going to Sri Lanka. It was the length 3 times the height of the Statue of Liberty. I'm not going to go into we could go into the history of the Dolly. It was built in 2015 by a South Korean company, a Hyundai Heavy Industries. It's a Panamax type ship, which can carry up to 10,000 containers. It was on its way. Singapore-based Synergy Marine Group operated the vessel. It was hauling cargo for Danish shipping giant AP Molen Maersk. The nearly 1,000-foot-long ship departed from a terminal at the port of Baltimore and was heading to Sri Lanka. So hold on, man. Hold on, man. You're bluffing and stuffing with your Afro puffs, P. You're bluffing and stuffing. The bridge costs 60 million in 1977, which today is 300 million. Ooh, boy, y'all trying to get that money, boy, trying to bleed it dry, ain't you? Ain't you? The ship was going 9.2 miles per hour, which is typical for vessels traveling in that area. So how are you able to control all of this in a ship you wasn't able to control? Man, fish sticks, man. Claims on the ship's coverage could be complicated by quirks in marine insurance law, such as convention that limits liability based on the ship's value. One of the biggest claims in recent years was associated with the Costa Cordia, a cruise ship that sank near an Italian island in 2012. 32 people died in the incident, and insurers paid more than $2 billion in claim nets. According to London-based marine insurers, the 2022 fire and sinking of the car carrier Facility Ace resulted in more than $500 million paid out under insurance policies. Man, it's a whole lot of numbers thrown out, and when it come time for reparations, y'all come with the haterations. What did we learn today, boys and girls? This is a play. This is a move in the groove, like I said, to bleed the city community dry. Now you got added insurance claims, this, that, and the third. Not only the congestion and the shake and bake of your everyday hustle and bustle, trying to get to work, trying to get to school. You disrupted, bleeding the economy with new tax now to get the bridge fixed now, plus insurance, right? Right. I already showed you opportunity after opportunity after opportunity that they had, that there was indicators to stop the ship, but they did not. But I ain't gonna hold you. I'm just gonna mold you, fold you, and scold you about being off code. I'm gonna leave you with 4 words, as we always do around this time. Subscribe for the vibe, like for the spike, comment your vomit, and share if you care, if you dare. And where? Over there, everywhere. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and Facebook. Take a look, because we're also over there on Spotify, where you can vibe while you drive. Hang on, keep you though. But love, peace, blessings, and aloha. Gotta go high for sure, ha. You already know how. Big brother, light bright, supreme, almighty, signing off.
Warning. You're about to be distracted.
Racism.com.
Distractions. Distractories. Distractolozo. Dis on a started side of a game. Distract upon. Super distraction.